In this video, we're going to go over how to do blood flow restriction training properly. Specifically, we're going to go over how to apply these bands to your body so that you get the best results in blood flow restriction training. So let's talk about a few things first. So these are the blood flow restriction bands, and let's talk a little bit about what blood flow restriction training is in the first place. So what we're going to do is, instead of doing an exercise where we just do bicep curls or just do lat pull downs or just do whatever upper body exercise that we're going to do, we're going to apply blood flow restriction cuffs to our bodies to get the blood flow restriction effect. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, first let me tell you exactly what happens. We're going to apply the band just like this, and we're going to apply it, and we'll talk about how to apply it properly and what you should watch out for in a second. But what are we doing here? What we're doing is, as you may know, the arteries bring blood to your extremities, and your veins, bring the blood back to your heart, and it pumps in this circular fashion. So when we apply the blood flow restriction cuff, what happens is that blood can come into your extremities via the arteries, but it can't come back through the veins. And if you can see already, the vein is popping up a little bit more on my left arm than my right arm. Now, why would you want to do something like this? It sounds crazy or maybe even dangerous, but it's not. Actually, the training originally developed in Japan, and it's been used with everyone from elite athletes to elderly people to recover from injuries. So here's what you need to know. By using blood flow restriction training, we can use a lighter weight, and it will end up having the same effect as using a heavier weight. And what this does is allows you to get a great training effect without using heavier weights. And this is especially important for people who have, like me, I have some triceps tendonitis that can flare up from time to time from some of the sports that I've done. And so it's a great thing for that, but it's also a great technique to experiment with just in general as a different way to stimulate your muscles. And as you can see, again, the veins are really starting to come out on my left arm compared to my right. So let's talk a little bit more about how to do this properly. One thing that you need to watch out for when you apply the blood flow restriction training cuff is you want the right amount of pressure. If I cinch it too tight, what happens is that it not only cuts off the venous return of the blood flow to my heart, but it also cuts off the arterial blood flow to the point where my arm might start turning blue, or it might start getting numb. Now listen, it's nothing to freak out about unless you keep it on for a long period of time. But if you tighten it a little bit too tight, and you start to feel that numb sensation or that getting cold sensation because the blood flow isn't getting to your extremities, all you want to do is just readjust so that it's the right amount of pressure. Now, as you can see, when I tighten my muscle, I feel that I feel the pressure of the cuff, but I don't feel like my arm is starting to get numb or turn blue or anything like that. Again, it's not really something that you need to worry about so much because you're not going to leave it on for long periods of time. But you want to get the best results from doing this type of training, so we want to make sure we do it properly. So that's how to do that. Now, what we're going to do is, as I go into the other exercises, I'm going to demonstrate each exercise. I'm going to demonstrate the setup. I'm going to demonstrate how you do it, and we're going to go from there. The last point I want to talk to you about is you want to leave the blood pressure cuff on as you do all the sets of a particular exercise. For example, let's say you're doing bicep curls with the blood flow restriction cuffs on, and of course you would wear them on both sides. I just put one on just for demonstration purposes. But what you would do is you would do your first set of bicep curls, take a rest, leaving the blood flow restriction cuffs on. Then you do your second or third or fourth or however many sets that you're gonna do. And then you take the blood flow restriction cuff off after you're done with your last set. And even if your next exercise is a blood flow restriction exercise, you would take them off, you would rest for 1 to 2 minutes, and then you would put them back on again, just to allow the circulation to normalize. So that's how you do blood flow restriction training. And in the next videos where I'll show you the specific exercises, we'll show you how to use the blood flow restriction cuff for those particular exercises. See you on those videos.